We are, of course, interested in an appropriation from Congress because that will enable us to move forward with a human landing system in the way that's most appropriate for the American taxpayer. It is also true that if we don't get an appropriation from Congress, there are ways we continue moving forward without necessarily having an appropriation. And of course, I can go through some of those ways, but number one is the fact that right now there are companies that are moving forward with the human landing system regardless of the appropriation already. Some of those countries, some of those companies you well know, they've already developed a lot and they're continuing to develop regardless of our appropriation. So that's number one. Number two, it's also true that we have the Commercial Lunar Payload Services Program already underway, and that's within the Science Mission Directorate, but there is not a reason that those landers couldn't be human capable. So and I'm not saying we're going to do that. I'm saying if we end up in a gridlock position where we have no appropriation, what are the tools available to us to make sure we can keep moving forward so that we can make that 2024 date? That's the goal. And I will tell you that there are other tools. We have, we have these challenges that are put out by the Space Technology Mission Directorate, for example. Well, those challenges are sometimes tied with prizes. So we could actually use prizes to entice some companies to move forward, even though we don't have an appropriation at this point. My point is this, and I need to talk to the lawyers. I'm going to be very honest. I need to talk to the lawyers. But at the end of the day, I think we have already started on human landing systems. If you look at the Next Step program, operated by the Human Exploration and Operations Program, the Next Step program actually had an appendix focused on human landing systems. So you could argue that it's not a new start. So can we actually use the Next Step program to continue the development as well? So I think there are these different, if we don't have an appropriation, we have to get a lot more creative. And of course, we want to make sure that we're doing things within the law 100% all the time. But there are tools that we have available to us to keep moving forward if Congress needs more time and they don't have an appropriation bill. But make no mistake, we want an appropriation bill.